At its heart, Product Lunch Formula is made up of sequences, stories, and triggers.
What is up, champions? Welcome to another episode of Champion Reads, where we talk about the best-selling books and their best principles to help you with your best life. I am William Blake, one of your hosts. We also have Mr. Ian Sturmer, our other co-host, with us today, and we are excited to continue the book Launch by Jeff Walker with you guys. And today, specifically, we're going to jump into the 9 triggers that he goes over in that book. For quick recap of what that is, we got authority, reciprocity, trust, anticipation, likability, community, scarcity, social proof, and event-based. I'm excited. We're going to do our wonderful New Year speed dating style, where we're going to try our best to hit each and every one of those and to share with you guys some practical stuff that we can be able to help each of you champions as well as us to live a better life. So super excited about today. Let's just start right off the bat, Ian. Let's just hit with authority. Authority to me is something that is the front of what it is. It's the guiding principle. It's the leader that tells you how things are. I'm curious from you, what's authority to you in the triggers?
Yeah, I love you said hit with authority, because authority is the first hit that's out there. It comes down to a question a friend of mine posed one time in a group: why should I buy from you? There's so many options out there. There's so many choices. We all have so much competition. If we don't have some kind of authority, some kind of reason that we should sell something, whether it's a product, a service, if we don't have an education, an experience, an accolade behind us, product testimonial, something to give us authority, something to say, you should buy from me because this. There's got to be a reason, and that authority is the basis of the reason. We've all walked through a store and seen something, and we have no idea what the brand is, so we walk right by it. There's no authority. So there's got to be a reason for us to pay attention, something that says, you know more than me, or you are better at this than me, therefore I will buy it.
Yeah, it goes into the thing of don't follow advice from someone who hasn't gone through it or has the life that you want. Because if they don't have it, like, why are you taking their advice? The authority, the experience that the person brings, that's what should build that trust. That's what you should be going for. Because if they are authority, then they are doing the thing that you desire to happen in your life, or desire to accomplish whatever the goal or dream is that you're working towards. And so those experts and leaders in their fields, they've pretty much already done it. Or the ones that are just like, we have built so much credibility, so much trust that you can take our product. Everybody knows about Cheerios. Biggest thing. Not many people know about... Man, I'm trying to think of a cereal that no one knows about. Live cereal.
You don't know it. Yeah,
that's the thing. You don't know it. Live cereal might be a lesser one that people know about. I grew up on it. Cinnamon Life cereal, the best.
I like that one.
But it's the authority part. It's the evidence that they are who they say they are.
Yeah, there's a real quick analogy with that, I guess. You and I were both on a call a couple days ago, and there was a guy on there who was a breathing expert, and he was offering a chance for us to attend a session with him on breathing. Now, I'm old, and I have been breathing for 50 some years at this point. But I'm not going to go out and teach a class on breathing just because I've been breathing a long time. This guy's a lot younger, but he's talking about how he studied under these gurus and he's gone through the science of it, as well as the mystical side of it and the psychological side of it. And he built up an authority where I've been breathing for 50 years, but I'm going to attend his session because I trust his authority that he knows more than I do on this.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people can just skip the credibility, skip what needs to happen. But you got to be an authority with it. And one of the things that helps with authority, going to the next one, is the reciprocity. The principle of reciprocity, where you give value first and people feel compelled to give back to you. And I love how in the book it reminded me of the ebook that I created for my dyslexic audience. It's something I'm giving away. It's something that they get from me. That's just a free ebook about 5 principles that have helped me get to where I am. And that thing alone has brought so many people into the community of for my coaching thing, dyslexic achievers. And I know for Champion Circle, like um, offering sometimes meetings, sometimes being able to get on one-on-one calls, um, being able to provide those free resources, insights, that goodwill makes it a lot more likely for our audiences to engage with our paid offerings further on. And that's so needed in this world of when you launch a product, you want as many people to come as you can. What's the best way to do it? Give them free stuff.
Yep. And I think you said those two go hand in hand. If you don't necessarily have a high amount of authority, then reciprocity builds that authority. If I'm going to go to a doctor and they have MD at the end of their name, then they've got authority that I trust in there. But a lot of and yours is a great example. You're a great person. You don't necessarily have a huge reputation worldwide about what you do. So here's this book I'm going to give you that's going to show you how smart I am. It's going to show you why you should trust me. And giving that book, that reciprocity, shows your authority as an expert. Not just here's a name or some piece of paper, but here's real proof that I am an authority in this, or that Mr. Blake is an authority in this, not me, because I'm not an authority in that. But that reciprocity, give something that's going to show people the value you have and create that authority with you as an expert. And yeah, reciprocity, I think, is the best, easiest, first way to do that.
Yeah, and it builds well into adding in 3 in there. Goodness, all these go together. Trust. It adds trust. When you got the authority and you are giving people value first, they feel compelled to give back, and it builds that trust value, which is obviously the foundation for any successful transaction. Any business that goes on needs trust, because if you don't have trust, then you're that sleeky car salesman at that hand-me-down used car dealership, to where you walk in there and they're just like, I got the car for you. Oh, this car works. And you look at it, looks like a piece of junk, but you need a car, and you drive it off the lot, and all of a sudden it breaks down and you're out a couple $1,000s, right? It's like, that's not trust. But what trust is that you build through genuine care, through transparency, and through consistency with your audience, that builds the authentic promises that you give them. And when you say something's going to happen, your audience knows it's going to happen.
Yeah, I like that. And like you said, these all run together. And it almost goes backwards. You kind of build trust through that reciprocity. I'm giving you something. This is going to show you that I know what I'm doing. It's going to build a trust in my expertise. So a trust in my authority to do it. And also the fact that you're giving something out, you're putting skin in the game for them, that builds a bit of the trust. And then you can throw things at the end of that, like a guarantee or a warranty or only pay if it works, or depending on your product or service, whatever you can throw out for there to say, you know what, let me take some of that risk away from you. And that's going to build some trust as well. Hyundai cars is a great example of that. They came out, they were a cheap car. People thought, oh, if it's a cheap car, it's not going to last very well. So their way of handling that was they came up with the best warranty in the auto business. I don't know if they still have that, but for a long time, they were famous for having the best warranty out there. And a lot of people trusted it because of it. And a couple of years ago, I read that they surpassed Toyota as the largest car manufacturer in the world. So they built that trust, starting with a warranty, and then building pretty good cars, following through with the fact that their cars they were quality cars at a good price. And that's what people wanted. So that trust can be, I don't want to say artificially put out there first, but you can do something to say, trust me because of this. But then you have to show it through your product and service as you go forward.
Yeah. And with the fourth one of anticipation, I'm going to throw it right back at you, Ian. Because, anticipation, it's creating that excitement about what's coming next. It's getting your audience engaged and eager and little teases for the launch. What is probably one of the most important things, and I'm not fishing for an answer, but what's one of the most important things when it comes to anticipation for you?
Well, there's got to be a teaser out there first about what it is. And looking in the corporate advertising world, there's two examples that come up to me. One is probably the master of that is Apple. People can't wait for the next phone to come out, the next iPhone, which we all know is going to be just a little bit clearer screen, just a little bit faster processor, and that's about it. But we still get excited about it because they build all these things up. And they've got the authority, they have things they give out with it in software and these things. They have the trust built up from the past. But then they build up and say, the next great thing, this is what's going to come out. And we get excited about it. A second one is years ago, and I'll preface this by saying I'm not really a car guy. So I did not know what a Mini was before they started doing Minis, the kind of the relaunch in the US 20, 30 years ago, whenever that was. And I started seeing these billboards on the road, and they would say, sip, don't guzzle. And they'd have like a little wine glass or a huge jug of water. And there were all these things about sip, don't guzzle, and a little Mini logo in the bottom. And I didn't know what a Mini was, but after about 2 or 3 months of these advertisements on the road, I really wanted to figure out what this Mini was. And then they had, coming March of whatever year. And I got excited about it. I didn't even know what it was. There was no authority, no reciprocity, no trust, but they built up a curiosity where I needed to know what this thing called a Mini was that was coming out. Years later down the road, we bought one, loved it. And my wife and I both kind of missed that one. Unfortunately, it got into an accident. Unendorsed product endorsement here, unasked for endorsement, held up really well in the accident and prevented a lot of injuries with my wife. So from that, all of that trust and authority came in. But they build up anticipation, is the point, through the marketing campaign. Without even knowing what it was, I was excited.
Yeah. That buildup brings in so much of what's needed when launching something. Because if you're in anticipation for you to just grab it, you're just like, I'm gonna grab it. And so for my example, I kind of want to bring in actually 3 principles. 2 we haven't talked about. So we have anticipation, likability, which is the 5th one, and then I'm going to jump to the 7th one, which is scarcity. So with these 3, I think about when it comes to likability, I like Maverick, the gas station. That's the place where I've been basically my entire life growing up. Whenever I needed to fill up on gas, it was a Maverick right next to our house. Got the little discount card that they have to where you swipe it and save 2 cents on the gallon, and it was just the coolest thing. And it was woohoo, 2 cents.
Yeah.
And that's like we bought from them because we like them. I saw on this sign as I was traveling up to Idaho for my in-laws that said Maverick gas station. I'm like, oh, cool. But it's like in 25 miles. And so and I knew that we were getting low on gas. And instead of looking around for another gas station, I knew it was 25 miles. I looked at our gas tank and I said, we can make 25 miles. And so even though we passed probably a dozen other gas stations, we wanted Maverick. Like, we wanted to be able to get to that gas station. And so as we drove to there, it was just that anticipation of, oh my goodness, we are going to hit Maverick, even though all these other gas stations are there. Which then also brings up the scarcity thing, which in a different example with likability and scarcity is the 10X conference that Grant Cardone does. He has a 10X conference. I got a text from him saying that this is the last 10X conference that he's doing. And in my head, I'm just like, I've always wanted to be a speaker on the TEDx stage. This is the last one he's doing. And so I can just imagine everyone who sees that text, they are going to be jumping at those tickets. This is the last one. This is going to be the big one that they're going to send everything off with. So there's scarcity in that. This is the last one. You better come or it's gone. The likability factor. Grant Cardone's been in my life since the very beginning of my self-development journey. First time I saw a video of his, he helped lead me into what business, personal development, sales, finances. Like, he was the one that brought me in there. And then that anticipation of it's going to be happening. I can't remember the specific date, but it's just like, it's going to be happening soon. You got to be there. And so like all those three together built into this like TEDx conference by a simple text. Launching's important. And it's just crazy, these triggers that we use.
Yeah. We moved through a couple of those with indigo anticipation and actually all of those. Again, I'm going to give a couple examples too, because I love examples. When I was a kid, actually I was older than a kid, but Superman, the comic book, came out with a storyline which was revolutionary called The Death of Superman, where Superman died. You may have heard of that one now. When that comic came out, because it built up for like a year through the different storylines of different comics. And when the actual Death of Superman comic came out, first of all, it was wrapped in black plastic with a Superman logo with blood coming off of it on the cover. So you couldn't even see the comic inside. It had some free gifts in there. It had a black armband with a Superman logo on it. It's like you would wear at a funeral. And I was really excited about this. They had built it up. It was in the news. They built it up for a year in these other comics. Of course, I like Superman, but they only print a certain number of comics every time. So I got on my bike and I rode to 3 different comic stores that I had been to and overpaid a fair amount at each place where they let me get 1 copy of that comic. Now, I still have all 3 sealed copies at home, and they are worth on eBay just about what I paid for them the day that I bought them in the comic store. So they didn't go up in value the way I thought they would and all that. But they really build up an anticipation. In this case, a year of multiple different comic lines building up to this story we all knew was going to come. Of course, they've got 75 years of liking Superman. But that scarcity, that's if you don't get it now, this special one, that's the only chance you'll ever have. And they never printed more with that special package. Limited edition. It built it up. And honestly, I'm still happy that I took the time to get those. It's still a positive experience, and remembering rushing around to get those and all these other people wanting one, but because I had a relationship with the store, they let me buy a copy, or they saved a copy for me so that I could get it. So all of these are built up. Whether you're a huge brand with 75, 100 years of background, or whether you're just starting out and you're talking about, hey, this is a new product coming out, this is a new service, this is a new technique, and you build it up for people, and this is the time you can come to it. And I think it was Gary Vee that talked about that in his $1 million offers. You build scarcity. There's only 25 seats. There's only 50 seats. And his strategy was, if you've got 50 clients that you know want to come to this conference, then you say, I have 40 seats. And there's instant scarcity. And those people will fight for those seats in a positive way. Yeah. So build scarcity, because if you don't, there's products that I've been wanting to buy and planning to buy for years, but I never do, because I know they're always going to be there and I can always buy them the next time, and I've still never bought them.
Yeah. It's amazing how, when we actually think about these triggers that are going on, like how many actually apply to the big ones that we see every single day. It's amazing. I want to keep going, because I want to make sure we hit all these for the champions who are listening. I want to make sure we hit all these triggers. So the ones we've gone over authority, where you got to build that trust and people follow your advice because you're the expert and leader. Went over reciprocity, #dyslexia. Reciprocity, give that value first, and then people feel compelled to give back. Trust, where you build consistency, you build the reputation that you are who you say you are, and that when you give your word, it is honest and it's expected. The anticipation, where you're creating that excitement. The likability, where people buy from individuals who they like. The scarcity of feeling that FOMO, that word, fear of missing out, that motivates people to take action. Each of those are so important with triggers. So the more that are in there is community, and I'm going to mix that in with social proof, just for my thing. Because with community, it's we're social creatures. We're individuals who like who want and need to talk to each other. If we just sit by ourselves, we might like it for a little bit, but we're going to go crazy. Just like that movie, I can't remember what it was, but they have that volleyball Wilson, I believe.
Oh, Castaway.
Yeah, Castaway. He created the volleyball so that he had someone to talk to. Like, we humans are social creatures who just thrive on connection. And so building that community of individuals around you to have that sense of belonging creates loyalty and engagement, as well as with social proof. That's where you get your social proof. Like having individuals tell you that you're doing great, that give you testimonials, give you reviews, those individuals who have tried the product and just jump at it and share it with other people, and then other people jump at it. It's that social proof of this is what we say it is, and then it builds a community. Those two together, two of the most powerful things when it comes to launching something.
Absolutely. And I see that in two sides. Things like Yelp or Amazon reviews, they build a community of people who give reviews that provide social proof as well. If I tell you that my product is the best you'll ever have, it doesn't have a lot of authority behind it. If your best friend tells you that my product is the best he's ever seen, there's some proof for you. You've got a community with your friends. There's social proof with your people that are telling you about it. And there's a formula in TV commercials that I see all the time, where two friends are talking and one friend tells the other friends about a product. I know you hate washing dishes, but have you seen this dishwashing detergent? This is amazing. And it's artificial social proof of one actor pretending to be friends with another actor and telling him something he read in the script. We all know that. But our mind still says, hey, if his friend is recommending it to him, then it must be good, because there's a social proof of individuals like me recommending something that I need to their friend. So I should try that too. Psychological trick or whatever, but it's at its core, that's social proof and community, maybe some likability and trust and things built into that as well, into a formula. Now, we, of course, want to do these things authentically. We don't want to create artificial scripts to do that. We want to have real people give real honest reviews and build up a community that way. But those same principles are there. We see them all the time in advertising, and we should be using those in a genuine way ourselves. Because why do big corporations use it? Because that's how they got to be big corporations, because they used it, because it works.
Yeah, it works. If it works, don't change it, right? If it works, if it works, why try something else? And not to diminish creativity or that, but if it works, just keep doing it. If it works, people want to engage with it, and so it's amazing that's included, that when you launch something that's in there. And I think that goes great with the last one, which is event based, which basically is like creating events, because events create that natural reason to take action. It gives the audience that time to be able to engage with your offer, tells them about it, brings that excitement and urgency to it. I know for the webinar that I'm giving for my dyslexic audiences tomorrow, like I've been sharing about it, I've been prepping on the back end, and it's just like there's this natural reaction for my audience to react, to act on being there, and to show up and comment, and then afterwards be able to, we're giving a free ebook away for each and every one of them. And so it's just like creating this event, this place for everyone to gather. It's just this natural reason that ties everything together with all these triggers to just naturally act.
Yeah, I think that's true. Having an actual event brings everything together into one specific moment. Right now, if you're watching this live or in the next couple of days, we're in the middle of something called CES, or Consumer Electronics, something with an S, that takes place in Las Vegas, where there's product launches from all these big tech companies. Why do they all launch at the same time when there's incredible competition? Because this huge event has built up excitement. Reporters are there, news articles are coming out, and people are, nerds like me are glued to their Google screen, seeing what new things are coming out. What's the next camera? What's the next phone? What's the next headphone? The next TV? Whatever it is that we don't need but want to buy anyways. So an event ties all of those things together and says, this is your one time to see all of these things. You can be the first. You can, everything about it, the community of everyone who's interested watching it, and different Facebook groups I'm in, and are all talking about it and sharing information back and forth. There's community around it. There's trust in the brands. There's reviews coming out. A single event, even though it makes no logical sense, why do you have to have an event to come out with a new iPhone? When it hits the stores, people are going to buy it anyways. But it builds that excitement. It builds likability. It builds community, scarcity. All of that comes together through that act of a single event. And I think that's probably the key points of all of these with your launch, is to have an event. It's not going to work if you haven't built the other things up before there. But having an event is what's going to make things happen right then. It's what's going to bring the money in. Money is not the most important thing in life, but it certainly makes life a lot easier. And that's probably why a lot of us are in business. And it's what's going to allow us to continue to be in business and continue to help people. So yeah, have an event. Make your launch an event, not just open a web page and hope somebody comes there over the next couple of years.
Yeah. Man, not wiser words have been said. Have an event. It really ties in the other 8 with the event. It's like, if you want the authority, if you want to be able to give to other people and build trust, build anticipation, build that likability, community, scarcity, social proof, if all of that is put together, you got to hold an event. You got to have something to put out there. Because if you don't, it's just like you upload a post on Instagram and hope that it goes viral, right? It's just hoping. But when you put an event out, then you build that proof. You get people there who then experience who you are and what your business is, to then which some of them will buy your product, which then you can get testimonials and reviews to build that trust and authority. Then you continue to do the event, and it's just these 9 triggers are amazingly crucial for launching a product. And Ian, I'd love, as we're wrapping things up, love to hear your final words on all of this.
Yeah, well, I'm going to make one more comment about the event and how that makes everything special about it. So I'm going to ask you a quick question here.
Shoot.
You're married. You have a beautiful bride. Do you think that in your mind, your marriage is stronger because of that event of a wedding? Or if you just she showed up at your door one day after you've been dating and you gave her a key and she moved some stuff in. How special is your wedding? In a few simple words.
How special is my wedding?
The ceremony.
Ceremony. Special enough to hold
Don't
an
think
event.
too long, because your wife might wonder why you're.
Yeah. A special moment to celebrate the commitment that we have for each other to start the life and family that we want.
So was that an important day for you?
Yeah, it was. Very.
Okay. I'm assuming this is all correct. Yeah. And that might be an over-the-top example of a wedding ceremony, but all of those things before were built into before we had that ceremony. But that ceremony encapsulates all that idea of the love and commitment and reciprocity and trust and likability, and all of those things are built into that ceremony we create for a wedding. Now, our product launch is not going to be anything like a wedding to us or to any of our clients, but it presents a single moment in time to encapsulate all of these things. And people will remember that more than hitting the download button on their computer. Even opening up an Amazon package is a small event that builds some excitement and anticipation. The fact that it's coming to us is a minor event. But if you know that it's the one day, I sometimes pre-order books and they all come out on the same day, and I know that all of the fans of this author are opening the same book on the same day, and we waited months for it to come out. There's excitement in that event. So we have to do the steps first. But if you skip that event at the end, you're losing all of that feeling that's going to continue with your clients. So I'm going to close. You have to do the steps first, but if you miss that event at the end, you're missing out on a lot of money, a lot of clients, a lot of building your business, a lot of future business if it's not there. So make it an event.
Yeah. You can do as much preparation as you want, but unless you take action, unless you do something about it, it ain't going to work. So wonderfully said, Ian. And that wraps up this episode as we talk about the 9 triggers in the book Launch by Jeff Walker. wraps up this episode. For you champions, if you found inspiration in this, go ahead and subscribe to our podcast. You can find us on all the major podcasting platforms, as well as you can go to our website, mychampioncircle.com. There you'll be able to find the link to our podcast, link to all of our socials, as well as everything else going in this Champion Circle universe. Until next time, champions, continue to be awesome, continue to take control of your life, and always remember that do your preparation. Get the trust and authority. Always remember to hold an event, because it's the taking action part and bringing people together that's going to help launch the thing that you are doing. We'll see you on the next episode, Champion Reach.